Good morning. This was supposed to be last night. This was supposed to be on the 16th, but I spent the 16th evening in the park with the kids. Didn't have enough time for much other. Came home, had a sub sandwich, went to bed. Hell of a way to celebrate my 75th birthday. Anyways, it was fine. Got a bunch of pictures from yesterday. I'll show you. Good time. Today's a very interesting day. Meeting with the head of OPU charity, meeting with again Getty at the train station with the Rouhanis, and meeting with the gentleman who contributed the hotels to the refugee center. So should be a very interesting day. Should have a lot to tell you tonight. And then we're on until tomorrow, my last day, flying home Thursday. So more to come tonight. Thank you. Good morning. I'm here with Martin, who runs the charity OPU, who has done such a great job at the train station and at the hotel that I have been visiting and trying to volunteer at. And Martin has probably the most refreshing voice I've heard here. So we'll start with Martin. How are you for funding at this point?
At this point, we received funding for the Ukrainian operation that is short-term. So some funding ends at the end of September, some in August, and almost all funding will end at the end of the year. So our problem is to long-term support, both with integration of Ukrainians into the society, but also with legal aid to Ukrainians and to other refugees, because we serve to many refugees and foreigners from this region with different passports, not only Ukrainians.
Martin, it appears that the government policy is that when school starts, they will increase the number of children in the Czech school system by over 10%, which will significantly load up the school system. There's a lot of things that need to do to prepare those kids, but that the idea about funding ending at the end of September after school has started rests on the thought process that the kids will be in school and the mothers will be able to get work. Is that at all possible?
I don't think it's fully realistic, because we are talking about single mothers with small babies. Very often, 80% of all newcomers were single mothers with babies, sometimes coming with parents and sometimes with a dog. So I'm not so optimistic, because the labor market is not very receptive, very open to single mothers of Czech origin with young babies. There is a lack of short-term jobs, lack of part-time jobs. So I think if 1/3 of all the mothers work, it will be a huge success, in my opinion. So I think we need to support them more in language courses, in after-school classes for children. So there will be a lot of work to be done before we can call it a success.
Well, in that area, you've indicated that a large insurance company has offered you 2 buildings to refit and train the people in the Czech language and Czech culture so that they fit in. When do you expect that to start, and do you have the funding for that?
We started already, and it was a donation from a Czech company, insurance company. Generally, we pay 1 Czech crown monthly as a rent, and these are huge buildings, and they also want to support that as many children and adults receive training, Czech language classes, adaptation courses till the end of August. So we have some limited support to pay the employees, but of course we would need to more funding to pay the material aid, books, language teachers, etc. That is always needed.
Yeah. Well, thank you for your time. I appreciate it very much.
Thank you very much for talking to me.
Good morning. It's Wednesday morning, the 18th, and it is my last day here. I had a wonderful day yesterday. Spent part of the morning with Martin, who runs OPU, the charity I've been at. I went to their headquarters. They don't spend money on headquarters, I'll tell you that. Martin was terrific. You'll see in one of the clips that I have, Martin was very blunt in saying that for now, he needs nothing. As far as he's concerned, he's fully funded. Certainly through the end of August, the end of September, as the federal government's commitments last that long. And he believes he's funded through the end of the year if his housing continues. The housing has been provided by Pale Fire, paid for partially by the government. That's an issue that keeps getting extended. The reason for that is because, as you'll hear from him, the government has assumed that this will go away at the end of September. If not because of the end of the war, then because these are mostly women who should get a job and their kids will go to school. More about that in the individual section on with Martin. Following that, I went back to the train station to look at the situation with the Romas, and it is really pretty desperate over there. You'll see that in the Roma section. There's still no consensus as to how to deal with that issue, but the charity OPU, as I was just talking about Martin, Martin has said that he can no longer provide the services under the conditions that the government has put him under, even though they've offered him a tremendous amount of money in order to do that. I think he's playing brinksmanship, and we'll see what happens with that. I ended the day with Dushan. Dushan is a fellow YPOer who's really wrote the policy for how things should be done here. He started way back in December. You really need to listen to his section. This is a person that I have great admiration for. He's done a great job and has very little publicity about the success of his program.